Hi everybody, so welcome to our first YouTube video together. This has been a long time coming getting us both on, but we thought the perfect opportunity would be to come down to our pet and country store and to talk about scissors. So as you've seen from the title, today is going to be talking all about scissors, and Michael is the perfect person to have for this video. So if you've been to any of his webinars, seminars, any shows, and you've had the chance to speak to Michael, you will know how much he loves talking about scissors. So that's why he's here today.
Thanks, Tori, for introducing me there, even though everybody knows me. But anyway, we're just going to go through the stuff that I would like and what I use in my salon and the scissors that I would recommend to all my students and things. And we're going to talk about the difference between blenders, chunkers and thinners. A lot of people get it very confused. So this is our first time doing a video together, and what a girl. She is fabulous all over YouTube. And now we're going to do it together, even though she's not as good as me. But anyway.
We'll give it a go. We'll see how we get on.
We'll see how we get on. A bit of fun, a bit of crack, and you know what, guys, it's just a wee bit of guidance of what kind of scissors that I would recommend for you to use in the salon. And Tori's going to ask a few questions and I'm going to try and answer them. So we have a wide range of scissors here, and Tori's going to talk a wee bit about what scissors it is that we have. So we've got all the different ranges, and she's going to tell you all what they are, and then I'm going to talk you through them.
Yeah.
How's that?
In our pet and country store, if you've ever been before, we are based in Ballymoney, and this is the groomers part of the showroom up here. So you can come up, have a walk around, have a look. You can check out some of our other YouTube videos. We've done like a full tour of the shop so you can see. But talking about scissors, we have, as you can see behind here, we have a whole display of scissors. Over here we've got our left-handed, I'm not sure if you can see it, but we'll do a cutaway, don't worry. We've got our left-handed scissors over here, then we've got some of the Groom Professional, Sirius, we've got some of the Kiss, Gabe, we've got on-tree ones, and we've got some other ones down the bottom there. So, as Michael was saying, he's going to do a really quick chat through these, talking about the differences between blenders, chunkers, and thinners, because obviously they do all sound quite similar, they all have kind of a similar purpose, but they're also very different as well, and it is important to make sure that you are getting them right whenever you're using them. So Michael, tell us which ones you want to talk about first. So let's talk about blenders
We're
first.
going to talk about the blenders first, right? And the reason why I wanted to do this video with Tori today is because a lot of people are coming to me and they're buying thinners instead of blenders, and blenders and thinners are two different things. On the catalogs and on the sites and things, they're all put down as thinners, and it's just how the manufacturers call them, but they're not. They're completely different. They're used for different purposes. So like with a thinner is a little bit wider on the teeth, and I'll show you what a thinner looks like. This is a little thinner. It's little straight teeth, and it's wider on the teeth side. So what these are used for is they're used for bulk and hair. So if you're going in and thinning out the coat, just like a hairdresser would do, you would go in underneath the coat and work your way out and thin out that hair so you can get the coat to lie. If you're using these, you can use them for a wee bit like round the faces and things like that, but for big bulky dogs, say Shih Tzus and long coat or things like that, or Lhasa Apsos, anything like that with a drop coat, these thinners are what you use. They're not for Bichons, Poodles, things like that. They're only for thinning out coat and for doing wired haired dogs like say wee border terriers and things. After you've stripped them, you can thin around the edges and under the soft tissue, and you know, on the underline, the mammary lines and things like that. You wouldn't really want to be pulling that with your fingers and thumbs when you're stripping it. So what we would recommend for you to do is just thin it out, or even take a wee comb attachment and just clip underneath.
And so why would you say like not to use them for Bichons or Poodles? You know, because obviously they've got thicker coats. So why would you say not for a thinner? Would that be more for a chunker or something like that? These are more for like double coated dogs and things like that, to thin out that coat, and also for like the likes of Lhasa Apsos with big chunky coats. Thinners are for, actually, if you look at the word thinning out the bulk and letting it lie flat. It's like getting in underneath your hair when you go to the hairdressers and you thin it out from the root out. That's what these are for. And also you can use them for round wee Yorkie faces and things if you don't have a pair of blenders, but my recommendation would be to use blenders because you get a beautiful finish. All those flawless looking finishes that you see on Facebook and YouTube and all that, they're all done with blenders. Blenders like as in they're for finishing off the face, finishing off the body, finishing off the legs, softening that cut. So if you're going on with a pair of straights or curves and you're leaving straight lines or curved lines or whatever, you just blend it all out with a pair of blenders, and then the thinners are for thinning out the coat. So they're two different things, but we'll go over the blenders as well. So the thinners, if you can look, they're just straight teeth, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. Have we got any other ones here that we can show?
We also have them in the Kiss range, and they're just exactly the same. They're a wee bit longer, but they're just a wee thinners as well. Now, they're a little wider than blenders. So blenders have like a little curve at the end of them, but I'll show you them. And these ones, where are we? My favourites. Sure, you can't go wrong with these ones here. These are fantastic. These are the blue quartz, and these are the blenders. So they're a little bit curved at the edge, and they're a lot tighter teeth on the edge, so they're a wee bit of a different shape, but they do what they're supposed to do. They're fantastic for round faces and things. And even if you're doing, like, say, a schnauzer, and you clip on the back lines, the rear angulation, and you're leaving a line where you're supposed to blend out. If you're not so good at blending with clippers, brush the hair up, just stand over it like that, and that'll leave it flawless. That's what these are for. These are like, they're blend over it, and that'll leave it flawless. These are a left-hand blender. So
these are blenders now rather than thinners?
Yes, these are blenders. Okay, and the blenders are a lot more finer on the teeth, and the teeth are cut like in a point, where so these are flat teeth, if you look.
We'll do a little close-up so you can see anyway, but as you can see with the blender there, they are completely straight across, and then as you can see, or sorry, the blender, they've got a little dip, and then the thinner, they're completely straight across.
The teeth in the blenders are cut on an angle, if you can just see. Will we go closer and show them?
Can we go closer?
Yeah. You see the way they're just cut completely different than the thinner? So that's why people are confused, because everything is labelled thinner, but they're not. Blenders are a lot better for finishing off dogs, especially drop coated dogs and things like that. And even just if you're scissoring around the chest area and the legs, and you leave wee lines over them with these here, they're just for finishing. They're fantastic.
Gives that really airbrushed.
Yeah, flawless finish. And you know what, guys, they're a must have. You have to have them.
And they're the blue quartz.
They're the blue quartz. These are my favourite. This is what I use in my grooming box, and this is what I use in all my demonstrations. The blue quartz, they're my favourite thinners and blenders. They've got a wee tension screw, don't they? This, you can change your tension, but 9 times out of 10 they come and the tension's perfect on them. Don't be fiddling with these, because if you take it too tight, then you're going to leave it that you're not going to be able to use them, and if you go too loose, they're not going to cut the hair. So they normally come and they're ready tension. So once they drop to that angle, they will not close. If they close when you drop them, then they're too loose. If they stop just around about here, I don't know what that angle is, but if they stop just between, then they're perfect.
I have a video actually on that. I have a full video on getting the perfect balance, getting the perfect tension. So if you check out our YouTube channel, I will also link that in the description down below. If maybe your scissors do come and you're finding that they're a little bit loose or a little bit tight, you can check out that video and it will show you how to do it. Okay, so now we are going to talk about chunkers. So we've covered thinners and we've covered blenders. Now we're going to talk about chunkers, Michael. So tell us firstly what a chunker is.
Chunkers are for finishing dogs. They are for finishing wool-coated dogs, things like that. If you're going to scissor, now some people like myself, we can just use a pair of straights or a pair of curves or whatever, and we've been scissoring for a long time, so it comes easy to us. But 9 times out of 10 I turn to my chunkers, because sometimes you get those little sparsy coats that are really soft, and you go in with a pair of straight scissors or a pair of curved scissors. Unless you're very experienced, then you will leave lines in that coat, and that's not what you want to do. You want to leave that coat flawless, like a big candy floss. That's the way I try to explain it to my students. So chunkers for me are a go-to scissor for everybody, especially when you're learning to groom dogs. You know, when you're scissoring, yes, we can all pick up a pair of scissors and we can all learn how to use them, but it takes years to get that right. With chunkers, you can't really go wrong. Now, these are the Kiss chunkers, just for an example, because they're coloured and you'll see them very well. These are the wee hammerhead chunkers. And what we use then first, you just dust over the coat. So if you're not an experienced groomer and you're not going to scissor that whole dog, and you clip it with a pair of comb attachments or whatever it is you're doing to get that finish on that dog, always pack up a pair of chunkers and dust over that coat and get your practice of how you hold your scissors and how you get the lines in that dog, especially when you're doing the flat line at the top and you're doing the undercarriage and you're doing the legs and whatever it is you're doing around the head and that. Even if you clip it, take out your chunkers on a wool-coated dog, poodles, Bichons, Kerry Blues, whatever it is you're doing, and just dust over it to get the practice. Because if you don't, you'll never be able to get, and this is for new groomers, you'll never be able to get the technique of the scissor for years and years, and you'll always leave lines and you'll always be frustrated within yourself. So if you do that and you leave lines, even with the comb attachments, you can leave lines if you're going too fast or you're going too slow or whatever. Take out your chunkers, fluff up that coat and just dust over the coat, and that'll help you get the right angles when you're using your scissors for your hand, where to move it to, and get the shape in that dog, and it'll finish that coat really, really well. These are, as I say, the Kiss scissors. I like these ones, but the best, in my opinion, now you get these in a 7-inch, these are a 9-inch, I think, these ones. These are very, very big. I would rather you go for around about a 7 or 7.5. The blue quartz is my favourite, but for my students, I get them to buy these serious scissors. They are fantastic. They're a Groom Professional as well, and you know what, guys? They are a lovely wee scissor. Now, when I was at Crufts, they were going mad for these in England, going crazy for them. We actually sold out. I don't know how many times we've sold out of the full range at Crufts, but for me, you know, even my students, they all love them, and they're a durable wee scissor.
And they're gorgeous too.
This is a bit long for me. I don't like this as I can use it, but for my students, it's just too much for them to keep an eye on what they're doing. So we always get them to go for the 7-inch. The 7-inch is a lot easier to work. And do you know what? They don't lock as quick, because if you put a bit of pressure on these, you can lock them, because you have to be very delicate. They're a delicate scissor. They're not for bulk work. They're just for finishing the dog. And if you can, get yourself a set of them and you will love them. They are fantastic.
So obviously a blender then is for dusting over the coat kind of when you finish to sort of do those lines, but that would be
drop coated dogs and things like that.
Whereas a chunker is more for your Bijons, your poodles, thicker coats.
Yes, wool coated dogs and things like that. You can use chunkers on pretty much any dog, but you will see that you'll leave wee chunky lines if you're doing like in a Yorkie and things like that. So for the Yorkies and them flawless faces and things that you see on Facebook and YouTube and all, some of them are Photoshop, but 9 times out of 10 they're not. And you know what? It's blenders all the way. They are fantastic, and then they'll finish that dog beautiful. And then for the wool dogs, all your wool coated dogs, when you're getting those wee bumpy lines, or if you're not prepping the dog really well or whatever, you know, nice set of chunkers and you'll have a lovely finish.
Some of the questions that we would get is, do you use chunkers for the likes of using what a thinner would be? Because obviously you would think going into the coat that would kind of pull out some of the hair because there's quite big teeth on them, but obviously not. Thinners are totally for taking out and thinning the coat, and then your blenders are used for drop coats to take off that sort of harsh edge, and then your chunkers are for your Bijons and your poodles.
Yes.
So that is your differences between them. That is how you would sort of separate them out. But as Michael said, sometimes the manufacturers call them sort of a blender or a thinner, or you know, they all kind of mix the names about a wee bit, but that's
some of the stuff
come
from America, and everything's called thinning shears and thinning shears, and these are thinning, like even the chunkers they're calling thinning shears, but they're not. They're chunkers. They're for finishing off coats. Blenders are for finishing off coats. Thinners are for thinning out coats, and it's the 3 different things, and you know, you will get used to them, get them and buy the 3 different stages. Now, in the serious range, they have a lovely thinner and a lovely blender. They don't have it here today. Oh, they might have it up here on the left hand, so yes, they do. And we will just show you the difference. Now, this is the 7-inch chunker. Like, this is the 9-inch chunker that I was just showing you, and this is the 7-inch chunker. Now, there's a big difference. Go for the 7-inch chunker. The 9-inch is good enough, yes, but I'd rather have a shorter blade when it comes to
more control.
Yes, more control, and also they won't lock as quick because there's a lot of steel at the end of this, and you can just squeeze too hard and lock them, and then you have to send them away to get them fixed and get the tension fixed on them. But these are the left hands. I'm not a left-handed, and I try to teach left hand, but these are chunkers as well. These are still exactly the same as these, only they're just a little bit shorter and they're easier to work and manage. You get a better finish as well.
And then the other one that you've got there,
the other one that I have is a blender.
Oh, it's a blender. Yes. You see, even I'm getting confused.
But they're left-handed, so if they turn them around, so they're a blender, right? And they are brilliant wee scissors. We get our students to buy these. They also get a wee pack from me, but we get them to buy this wee range of scissors here. And I think if you look in the catalogue, now don't get me wrong, Tori can clarify this. If you buy 3, you get 10% off.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that, and it goes for the blue quartz as well. Now I use the blue quartz, they'll be a bit more expensive, but they are a lot more durable. They will last, because I'm very heavy-handed, and when you're doing competitions and things, you know, you get really stressed, so you're like, and you're going really, really mad with the scissors. So, but for everyday use in the salon, and even for beginners and whatever else, these are fantastic wee blender, and they're brilliant for drop coat dogs.
Perfect.
So if you can, have a wee look at them and think about all the different stages, because the questions are, what's the difference between a chunker, a blender and a thinner? There's a lot of difference. There is a lot of difference, and you just gotta practice with them, try them, and you'll never go wrong, and you'll love them, and you'll always go to them then at the end, instead of trying to use a pair of straight scissors to finish a Yorkie. Just looks a wee bit choppy at times, yes, unless you're very experienced and you can use them really, really well. But for new people out there, get your blenders out, blend that face, perfect.
Job done. Okay, so now we're going to talk about student recommendations, scissors that Michael would recommend to students. So he has his own grooming college, grooming school, and obviously you get a lot of students in through that. So really just the scissors that you would recommend to them for starting off, and why?
I always buy them a wee set of scissors whenever they come into my salon, just as a thank you for coming on the course, and a wee uniform and whatever else. But for me, I say to them all the time, whenever, you know, halfway through the course, buy this wee set of scissors. What I'll show you is exactly what it is I tell them to buy, and the reason why I do that is because to get them used to using them, and they are fantastic. And we've went through them here in the last couple of wee clips there, but I will go through them again and tell them the exact range, what it is that I get them to buy, and what scissors, what exact scissors. So I'm going to go over here to, of course, the Cyrus range. They are fantastic. Now, we always get them to buy a wee pair of curves. I never get them to go any bigger than the 7-inch, because that's all you need. It's all they need. And for doing round wee faces and Bichon heads and poodle top knots and things like that, that's all they need. And we go for the 7-inch curved. They are very durable, they last, and they're a great wee finishing scissor. And I just think, you know what, they're affordable, because some of them out there, some really ranges that they're paying £200 and £300 for a pair of scissors. They don't need them at that time in their life, whenever they're just coming on the salon. For any of you out there experienced, yes, you might need them. If you want them, buy them. But for me, it's just students that we're going to talk about here, and this is a brilliant wee range for them, and they all love it. So we go for the curved, the 7-inch straight, the 7-inch straight, the 7-inch curved, and they're lovely.
And they're gorgeous print.
They're like psychedelic.
And the wee like diamante tension screws.
They are.
So that's a really good way to kind of get used to balancing your scissors if you have to do it, you know, to have that.
And also, they're light. They're not heavy, and they're easy for them to work with. They are fantastic. Now we go for that, and we always go for the 7-inch. It's only 4 that I get them to buy. So it's the safety scissors, the 7-inch chunkers. These are the left hand, obviously. They're back to front, and then we go for the wee bull noses. The wee bull noses for getting in around the teeth, or around the feet, the teeth. I'm off my head. And around the feet, so in around the pads, if they can't get the dogs, they relax whenever you're clipping them with your wee trimmers. So we get them to use these here around the pads and around the corners or the tops of the eyes, you know, the corners of the eyes here, just to clear out those eyes.
And the wee bull nose makes it safe.
The wee safety scissors, it's something that you would use in your children. I have a wee girl, and that's what I use to cut her nails. And these type of scissors, not obviously these ones, these are for hair, but I use the ones with the boots for her wee nails. But no, obviously, no, these are.
So we've got a curved,
7-inch, 7-inch, and 7-inch, and then
chunker and a safety.
And a wee safety, and then we get the wee blenders as well. So we get the full set, and that's your blenders. So it's 5, and I think if you buy 3,
you get 10%,
a discount, and then when you're a student, we also get another 10% because they come through the schools. So it's a really good. They're really good wee scissors, and they are very durable. And when I was in Crufts, England, oh my God, we couldn't keep them on the shelves. We were like, we need more. And we were running to the van all the time trying to get them and fill the shelves with them. They're a fantastic range of scissor, and they are very good for everyday use. Even if you're not a beginner, try them out, guys. They are lovely wee scissor, and that's what I get my students to buy as a pack halfway through their course, just so we can get them used to it. So that's them.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay, so now we have covered obviously students and the recommendations that Michael would have for students, but we want to know, what are your favourite scissors and why?
No.
I know the answer to this because I watch all your seminars and your videos, but maybe the people at home don't, so tell us what your favourites are.
I have a lot of friends in the industry that are way up there with their grooming skills, and they're champion groomers, and we're all in the same category and whatever else, and they always see me pulling out a pair of these amazing bad boys, right? And I know you laugh and everybody laughs, but these are a pair of Rose Lines, and they're just fancied up. They're the Rose Art. The Rose Art, yeah, and they are the 80080 wide. They're fantastic for bulk work. These are serrated scissors. Serrated scissor means you've got wee tiny micro serration teeth in them. For me, being experienced, and I'm not going to use gar combs and comb attachments and all that whenever I'm going to do a Bichon or I'm going to do a poodle or whatever, and I'm going to scissor that whole dog, I do all my shape with this here, little bad boys here. They will grip that coat and they will cut any hair. They are fantastic. I use them in Yorkies, I use them in every kind of dog that comes through my salon, and I use them in all the show dogs and everything else, just to get rid of the bulk and put a bit of shape on the dog. And then I move on then to my blue quartz. Now, I even get my students to buy these and get used to the weight of them, because they are heavy. They're a heavy scissor, and I know a lot of the top groomers around England and Ireland and whatever else that use these in their show dogs and things. They've been going for a lifetime. There's another range there that is similar, and it is the Astrid range. We use have them. You have them in the Astrid. They're similar kind of a scissor, similar kind of a weight, and they have the serrated edge as well. They are another range, and they're fantastic. They're just a lot cheaper than these ones. But these ones here, like for 95 quid, they are fantastic, and I use them every single day in my salon. They've got the wee
grips as well in your thumb, so you can take them out.
You can take them out to suit your hands. I don't never use the thumb grip because big fat thumbs, but I mean for scissoring they are brilliant, and all my friends laugh at me and say, oh, you're using that, but I've tried everything in the range of scissors, and I've spent hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and I've even bought scissors at £500 and whatever else.
You love your rose lines.
Nothing works like these for a good bulk scissor. They take out all the hair you don't need, and then I move on to my blue quartz. And I don't have any here on this stand, and we don't have the key to that amazing stand there because they're very expensive, but they're in that line, and you'll see it in our videos and our demos and everything that we do for Christies, that's what I'm using. And that's just to finish off my dog. I'll use my chunkers. You'll see me using them pretty much all the time. And then my rose lines just to give a bit of shape, and then I use my curves and my straights and my blenders and whatever it is I have in that range. This is my favourite, and for my students, the Ceres, even the Astrid scissors as well. Some of the students buy them as well because they're a wee bit cheaper than these as well, because you know yourself when you're just starting out as a groomer and you're paying all that money for groom school, and then you've got to set up a business and things like that, you know, it can be very expensive, but there's with the girls here, Christies, and even if you want to contact me and ask me what I would recommend for you starting out, I'll give you a hand with what it is you need. We also have a video for start-up groomers too, which is ready on the YouTube channel, and we talk through everything, and we cover scissors, and the Astrids are the scissors that are in that sort. You get, you know, at Christies Straight we have a start-up groomer kit, but if you call the team, you know, we're more than happy to help and recommending scissors that we think would suit you. You know, whether you're a man and you need ones that suit your bigger hand, or if you're a female and you need ones that are slightly lighter, we will be able to tailor you for your scissor and needs. So that's a wee intake on scissors and what I would recommend, and you all know me as a groomer. We're here, and yes, we love our jobs, but we're trying to make money as well. There's no need to be spending £70 and £80 on a brush. There's no need to be spending £350 on a pair of scissors when you're starting out. There's no need for any of that. I actually know groomers that are grooming 20 years and they're still using a little set of rose lines, or they're using the Astrids, or they're using, and they still do exactly the same job. We're just giving you a bit of advice on what it is better for you to even think about even looking at. But if you can't afford that range, then obviously you girls know every range of scissors that they have on, and Christies have a massive range. So phone them, talk to them. They're very nice. They're not. They're very accommodating, as they say, and they'll advise you through whatever it is you can, and affordability and things like that. If it's money and things that you can't afford, the dearer range, there's all different ranges, and they all do exactly the same. But I will tell you, be careful when you're buying thinners, blenders, and chunkers that you buy the right ones, and the 7 inch is enough, and the 5 inch blenders is enough, and the 4 or 5 inch thinners is enough. That's all you need, and these girls know them inside out. So contact them, and thanks for watching our wee video. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed mine and Michael's first video that we have ever done together. She's normally throwing the shots, and I'm normally going. I know, it worked out well. It worked out really well. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and also like the video, and be sure to share this with all of your friends as well. Bye. Bye everyone. How did that go? Really good. Can we watch it?